Just some particulars. Are you the sole play caller?
I am, yes.
Okay. When you're up there and, maybe things haven't been going as well as you liked, how hard is it to stick with the plan knowing that it's going to work eventually instead of just saying, got to do something drastic and maybe change it up?
It's hard. It gets very, you press. That's one thing we talked about. You could tell our players started to press a little bit after things were not going our way. And then as a play caller, you catch yourself starting to go not off the reservation, but like, well, maybe we should try A, B, and C. Even though we've not practiced it this week, let's try. Like you find yourself doing that. You try to stick to the plan as much as you can, though, and understanding that eventually you're going to break through. Eventually you're going to make a play, and it's going to you're going to execute it like you thought it would work in practice throughout the week. So it does take a lot of trust, and there is times when you do have to trust your gut and trust your instinct and make those adjustments at halftime. We've done that the last couple of weeks. Had to make a couple of adjustments at halftime to try to manufacture some yards on early downs.
Marcus, how do you feel about this offense's explosiveness through the first 4 games? And as coaches, what can you do to kind of make that get a little bit better as you get into this last stretch?
I mean, I feel great that we have playmakers and we can make explosive plays. I think that, as coaches, we have to put them in more positions to make those plays, and then we have to be more consistent globally, player, coach, everything, the execution of the offense in order to have a chance to make those plays. But I think that we do have some guys that are definitely playmakers in this league, and we have to give them more opportunities, and we have to get more opportunities.
Marcus, I asked Shane this question yesterday, but just as the offensive coordinator, as Luke continues to get back to 100%, do you feel like at times, for a lack of a better phrase, it kind of limits the offense right now in terms of what you guys, big picture, wanted to do maybe a month ago before he got hurt, and how can that continue to develop as he gets that foot back to where he wants it to be? Because obviously he brings a lot with his feet as well.
Yeah, I think that as he keeps getting stronger and stronger, he can do more with his legs. I think you saw the other night, there's a couple scrambles there at the end of the game where it opened up and you're thinking, Luke Doty's going to go about 25 yards right there. And he just, that shows his toughness to me. Just he was trying like heck to churn it out and get every yard he could. But, is he as fast as he was, like Coach said yesterday, before his injury? No. But he's working, to get back to that point. I think he's progressing in his own schedule. And just the toughness he's been playing with the last 2 weeks with that injury has been impressive to watch, but it will grow. His role with his lower body will grow as he gets more healthy.
Sad, has there been any changes, adjustments to the offensive plan this week? Has Shane gotten more involved as you guys get ready for Troy?
No. He's always, he always comes in and evaluates us and gives us, he watches film. He watches a ton of film, and he comes in with notes and things that he sees, and, we kind of cross-check each other. But it's been status quo, normal.
I'm curious, just follow up. You said put guys in positions to make better plays. From a coaching perspective, what does that look like, and how do you go about addressing that, whether that's in practice or in play calling?
In the play calling, we just have to be better. We can't have 51 plays and 15 of those plays be 3rd and 4th down, because then you're like, obviously I'd like to throw 6 more deep balls, but you got to get those opportunities. And so I think we have to be better on opening downs and getting drives going and sustaining drives in order to have those opportunities to get the balls in those guys and to create the explosives, to put them in explosive situations.
Marcus, I guess the last 2 weeks we've seen Kevin maybe take a bit of a heavier workload. I mean, is this just a matter – I know you guys said you wanted to rotate some guys, but how much is it with 4 guys? You got to just kind of find someone and let them ride a little bit. And I guess is that one of those maybe adjustments that you're kind of talking about, just sort of figuring things out and that kind of thing?
Yeah, just through conversation with our staff, Coach Beamer, myself, it's hard to get 4 – like we didn't want it to be like a basketball game where you go get these 2 plays, now you get this play, and you look up and guys have no chance of getting in rhythm. So whoever practices the best and whoever is the most productive during the game, whether it be in the run game or in pass pro, certain situations you're going to be the guy that plays, and we're going to try to get you the ball. And then you got guys that come in and get some extra carries when you get tired, but we're going to push you and ride you as much as we can, and then just try to find other ways to get the other guys involved in the game plan as well.
And kind of with that, I mean, I know you mentioned Luke obviously getting back to full health. I mean, how much, if at all, have you had to get kind of Kevin that same thing, just coming off the back? Procedure
getting in shape, coming off the back, that's a tough injury to come back from, but I think he's feeling more confident, and he's definitely getting in better shape. And so I think he's, again, like the rest of us, going to continue to get better as we go through games 5, 6, 7, 8.
I asked Coach Beamer about it yesterday with you guys going up to the line and looking over to the sideline. I guess generally, what does that do for y'all as an offense, you as a play caller, and I guess how do you feel like that went mechanically last week? Does it seem like
last week was the first time we had done any of that stuff. I think that it's always good to have that ability just to try to get in the right play call, and if you're trying to take advantage of a certain look, to like we were talking about with the shots, to take a shot. But I think that will continue to grow, especially with a young team. We don't want to put a ton on them right now where they can't just go out there and just play. Like now, as much as ever, they just need to have a chance to go out there and just play and not have to really, diagnose what the defense is doing, where the safeties are, the road, what the front is. So as much as we can do before the play for them, we're going to try to do that.
And going back to what you said about taking shots or wanting to take more shots, I guess what goes into that? Is it something you try to walk into a game with a set number, or do you have to kind of take what the defense has given you?
We have, not a set number, but we have a goal each game that we're trying to take shots. Again, it was just, the other night it was weird because we just kept getting the ball midfield and we didn't move it and we didn't sustain a drive and we didn't have enough plays to take those shots. But we go into every game, we want to make the defense honor our guys and had to be alert for the go ball.
Marcus, how do you mentioned kind of making guys not think as much or just go out there and play. How do you toe that line of keeping things simple enough for guys to go out there and do that, but also have a complex enough game plan to really make a defense think?
I think we could. The plan doesn't change. It's still the same plays. It's just as not putting it as much on the quarterback at all times, who's starting his third game last week, to have to diagnose 45 plays at the line of scrimmage. Could he do it? Yes, but I just want to try to take some pressure off of him, take some of that mental stress off him, where he can just go and just play and get into the game. So, it's still the same plays, same motions, same shifts, same everything.
And you mentioned obviously 15 of those 51 plays being third or fourth down. What was the issues, I guess, against Kentucky on third down specifically, and what can you guys do? Have you been able to diagnose what's been going wrong maybe in the entire season, or is it just a multitude
It's crazy
of things?
because Georgia, we were 47%, and it's like, wow, that was good. And then we come back last week and we replicated the same amount of production we had against East Carolina. So a lot of it was 3rd and 2 to 3, and we're trying to run the ball, and we didn't get the first down. Just didn't make a play. I had a couple drops. The plays are there. It's just a matter of going out there and making them. And I think as we go on and move forward, I think the more comfortable these guys get in this competitive situations, they're going to make the plays.
Coach, this week you guys are going to be lined up against Javon Solomon, who leads the FBS in sacks so far this season. Just what are your thoughts on him, and how are you guys going to keep him contained?
He's a really, really talented player. He's a lot like Corey Moore, that used to play at Virginia Tech. He's not 6'5". He's a kind of an undersized rush in type. Very slippery, very twitchy. Can bend, has great ball get off, very good instincts. He's going to be a pain in the butt for us. So we got to have a good plan of making sure that we're not putting our tackles in one-on-one situations with him all the time, and making sure that they have help as much as possible.
Marcus, after cutting up 4 games worth of film, how much of the running game struggles have been because of the run blocking? Is there a percentage? Is it just everybody needs to be better? But how do you break it down between that was the block and that was not the running back?
I think it's a combination. I'm going to try to answer this because I know it's so painful. You watch it. I could imagine my dad yelling at me about the run game. So I'm trying to answer this in a way that gives you information. Like, we're not running the ball the way that we should, obviously. Do we have the personnel to run the runs we're running? 100% we do. Will the run game get a little better as the quarterbacks get healthy? Probably. I think it's like the other night we had there was 2 or 3 runs where the backfield timing and just a certain angle on we pushed the running back just a little bit, and he couldn't get behind the double team, and it ended up being a 1-yard gain as opposed to a 6-yard, like little things like that. Some of it's the O-line, some of it's the play call, some of it this time this position group didn't do what they were supposed to do, and then the next time this position group didn't do it, and it's just all little layers and pebbles and nuggets of just little things that drive you absolutely insane. That it's not cohesive yet. So we keep addressing it, and we're going to tirelessly keep addressing it, and eventually it's going to get going. We got really good running backs, and I think that our offensive line they've had 2 good weeks really since Georgia. They've had their best week this week, so I get the question 100%. I ask myself that every day, and it's driving me nuts. But we're going to get it. We'll get it.
Marcus, I know this is such a cliche thing to ask, but quarter into the season now, what do you feel like is the identity of this offense in comparison to what you had hoped going into training camp?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think we have a true identity yet. I think that's you got 2 games with Zeb. Then you lose Zeb, and then you got Doty that comes in, who's like, again, this is not an excuse, but he practiced 11 plays in a month, which was amazing, his performance against Georgia. But I think just mix and matching the same plays, but just different personalities. Trying to run the ball a certain way through camp, we felt like we could. Then we get into competition. Well, maybe we need to tweak this a little bit. I think we're just constantly trying to find the right combinations and the right plays and the right personnels, and we haven't had any consistent success on offense right now. And so you don't have an identity yet. Like, our identity is we're going to be physical, tough. We're going to run the football. We're going to play action pass, utilize screen game, get the ball on the perimeter, right? Let our receivers make plays down the field. That's what we want our identity to be, but we're not there yet. That's what we're striving to get to, but not there. To answer your question, a long wind, we're not there yet, but we will get there. And I know that's easy to say, hard to do, but that's what we're here to do.
And what were your just general thoughts on Luke and how he played Saturday night?
I thought he played well enough for us to win the game. Was he John Elway? No, and I wasn't Bill Walsh. But he played well enough to win that game, and he threw the ball well. He put the ball in places where maybe they weren't always caught on certain and very, very high pressure down, and I think the guys will make the plays for him moving forward. But I thought he played well enough to win the game for sure. Like, he didn't have any critical errors. He was locked in. He made some great decisions. He had good tempo throughout the game, and I was proud of him. Still pleased. I mean, still for him to be performing like he is, just practicing his first full week after playing against Georgia is really cool to watch.
Coach, you mentioned that you guys don't really know your identity and haven't found that consistency yet. So just what are the main things you want to see from the offense this Saturday against Troy?
We have to run the football. And, again, that's very 1985, I guess, of it. But we have to run the football somehow, some way, whether it's quarterback runs, receiver runs, running back runs, trick plays, whatever it is, we have to run the football. And we know if we can run the football and win the line of scrimmage, we have a chance then to start to showcase our other playmakers through different types of play passes and things of that nature. But, we have to run the football. We can't do what we did the other night. It's unacceptable.
Marcus, you joked a little bit that you're not Bill Walsh. Through the first 4 games, how would you kind of evaluate your performance, what you feel like you've done well from a coaching or play calling standpoint, and what needs to obviously improve?
I'm usually really hard on myself. This last game, which was our worst game, ironically enough, I walked out of the thing feeling like I was good with all the decisions that I made and the plays that were called. We just have to everybody get on the same page and get the execution level where it needs to be. Obviously, we're want to be way more productive and have 500 yards of offense and stay on the field for longer and rush for 4.2 yards, and we're not getting that done. So, as a coach, you're constantly critiquing yourself of that's my fault, that's my fault, that's my fault, and it is my fault. But I would say right now, I would give myself as a real human in this world, I'd give myself probably a C-. Knowing though, I would give myself the benefit of the doubt that I would get that worked up rather quickly, sooner rather than later. That was a good question because I was starting to get angry at myself. I could feel myself wanting to yell at myself again, but I'm trying to be positive and trying to give myself. Yeah, good question though. Thank you all.